please like and subscribe. Chapter 1, New Life and Exploring the System. On a dark silent night with only the moon shining with a creepy pale light different from its usual serene shine in Kanahagakure or the Hidden Leaf Village, a weird event was currently happening in the Uchiha compound unnoticed by all in the village. A 5-year-old orphan that lost his parents during the incident of the Kyuubi going berserk suddenly opened his eyes from his sleep and felt a terrible pain out of nowhere. His face turned pale like the pale moonlight shining on this village and his breathing started slowing down each second until his heart stopped beating and an eerie silence invaded the lonely room, and so the poor kid died with no one aware of him until suddenly the little kid took a deep breath and jolted up into a sitting position, breaking the eerie silence in his room. The more the body of the little kid restored, it felt like the whole world was turning back to normal and the moon started shining again with its pure white light until the kid opened his eyes filled with confusion to his surroundings. Is this what happens after death? He thought while receiving memories about his current location and situation. So this kid's name is Bakorio, huh? Fine, since this is a new start in life for me, I will keep using this name to honor your life too, he thought, when suddenly he heard a beep in his head and saw a panel with a notification appear in front of him, which he read with a surprised look. Gamer system bounding to the host completely, please check your options by thinking option. Just how many surprises I am going to feel option dash, he thought, and a new panel appeared. Status, Inventory, Shop, Quests. He chose Status first. Name, Bakorio Uchiha. Health, 77, plus 1 per minute. STR plus Agi plus PHY, /3 plus Vit, asterisk 5. Chakra, 86 out of 136, plus 2 per minute. Stamina, 100, plus 1 per minute. Attributes, Strength 5/Agility 5/Physique 6/Vitality 10/Stamina 10/Spirit 20. Skills, none. Abilities, Save and Load. Bloodline, Uchiha 2%. Talent, Chakra Basic. Body Basic. Normal Civilian has 10 on his attribute, talent levels, Basic/Medium/Advanced/Master. Each one is 4 times better than the previous asterisk. He clicked on the Bloodline and Talents. 2% Uchiha Bloodline, additional affinity with Fire Element plus 1%. Talent Chakra, can't surpass a civilian chakra level with normal means. Talent Body, can't surpass a civilian body attributes with normal means. So now I understand why this kid was deemed useless, a 2% bloodline and a civilian level talent. With this he will never be capable of training his chakra, not to mention open his Sharingan Sai. Next, he checked what excited him the most, his abilities. Save and Load, save a point in time and can return to it at any time. Are you kidding me? Just this ability alone is worth it even if I had nothing else, he thought, overwhelmed with excitement. Wasting no time, he thought about using it, and a panel with 3 empty save slots appeared in front of him like that of a game. After clicking on the first one, he typed in the title of the save as Start and pressed Confirm, and voila, he got a save point. Wanting to test it, he stood up and changed the position of the bed before thinking in his head load to start, and felt his vision blacking out for a moment before everything turned back to normal and he found the bed back to its original position, making him ecstatic about the potential of this ability. But he saw that there's a 2/3 number on the saving panel and a cooldown of 24h. It seems I can only use it 3 times a day, huh? Next, he checked his inventory and he found 10 slots, 9 empty, and one contains a simple box with the simple description, Beginner Gift Box, that contains 3 random items. And so he clicked on it to open it, hoping he will get something good from it, and he quickly checked the panel that appeared. Asterisk Beginner Gift Box, Open X1 Reward, Basic Blood Purifying Pill X1, Advanced Body Tempering Pill X1, Random Talent X1 asterisk. He clicked on each of the items to see their description. Basic Blood Purifying Pill, enhance a chosen bloodline by 10%. Advanced Body Tempering Pill, greatly raise the quality of the body. Random Talent, give the user a random talent with a random level. And without hesitation he started consuming them one by one, starting with the Bloodline Pill, and he chose the only bloodline he has, Uchiha. The moment the pill entered his mouth it melted and he started feeling his blood heating up and that heat traveled to his whole body, moving in cycles, but he felt it more concentrated in his eyes. After 3 minutes it stopped and he felt somehow lighter and his vision clearer than ever. Next, he took the body tempering pill, and the moment the pill melted in his mouth he felt a terrible pain in his whole body as if every cell was getting destroyed and reconstructed into something with more potential, and this continued for a long time before he couldn't endure the pain anymore, twitched one last time, falling from his bed, and then fainted. 2 hours later. A 5-year-old kid opened his eyes one more time and found that it was still dark outside, and he's laying down on the floor with a pool of sweat surrounding him, making him disgusted by the smell, but he ignored it for now and opened his status to check just how big the changes in his body are. /N, I will just show what changed. HP, 77,233, plus 3 minutes. CH, 136,330, plus 4 minutes. STA, 500, plus 5 minutes. Attributes, STR 515, AGI 515, PHY 620, VIT 1030, STA 1050, SPR 2040. Talents, Chakra Basic Medium, Body Basic Advanced. Bloodline, Uchiha 2% 20%, plus 10% Fire Affinity. Looking at the huge improvement brought by the 2 pills, he simply couldn't believe his luck. Still, many things were affected, like his chakra talent and spirit, probably from the strengthening of the bloodline, which was affected by the body tempering pill 2, raising from the expected 12% to 20%. What if I load before the time I open the beginner box? Will I get something different? After all, it says the reward is random. But before that, let's see what I get as a random talent. And without further waiting, I clicked on the random talent and received the current notification. *1 random talent used, you received the talent Cooking Advanced *. Not bad, at least I didn't get a dancing talent or something useless like that. Now let's save this point and check my theory quickly, and before long a new save test was made before Bakorio loaded to start. Without wasting any time, he directly opened the beginner box, and to his disappointment he received good quality sword / basic detoxifying pill / water bullet jutsu. As for the talent, he received fishing talent. Feeling disappointed, he almost went back to the test saving point, but he quickly stopped himself and thought, wait, I can learn that jutsu after all, my memories won't be affected by loading, and so he learned it, and information about the jutsu and how to execute it appeared in his head, and opened his status. He also saw it in skills section as Water Bullet Jutsu, rank C, cost 200 cha, level 1, 1% EXP. Wanting to test it, he slowly did some hand seals, feeling his chakra moving with each hand sign he does and shaping itself in the form of a water bullet which he felt can control, and he directed it toward the wall in front of him, and it left a fist-sized hole in it, and he noticed his experience with it raised to 2%. Feeling satisfied, he quickly returned to the test save point before any trouble arrived, and as he suspected, the jutsu disappeared from his status panel, but his knowledge and prior experience using it is still there. It's possible it will reappear after I use it again, but that has to wait until I am somewhere secluded, I thought before checking the store function, finding it contains all kinds of skills and items from different worlds too, but you need system points to buy them, which could be acquired by selling things to the system or completing quests. After his system exploration ended, reality finally hit him that he's now in a new world, a world that can bring his dead heart back to life. Starting from this village, I thought with a smile while looking from the window, enjoying the breeze and the beauty of the lonely moon in the sky. Chapter 2, First Day in Konoha 1. Seeing that I had a long night ahead of me and I was feeling energetic from the pill, I started organizing my memories to remember what I know about this fictional world that I was a fan of so long ago. Thankfully, it seemed like my memory was enhanced thanks to either my bloodline or body talent, because I was able to remember some events and linking them to my current situation. The timeline should be around 5 years after the Nine Tails incident, because I am of the same age as the protagonists, so I need to be careful, otherwise, I will be a goner in the Uchiha massacre that's going to happen around 2 years from now. Resolving that should be my first priority, or at least ensuring my life. After deciding for a general direction of what my close-term goal should be, I passed the rest of the night training my body using simple exercises like push-ups, sit-ups, squats and so on, and when I am physically tired, I used the rest of the time to train my chakra control and meditate a little to raise my chakra quantity. After a few hours of training, he felt his body got stronger and his chakra quantity increased, so he opened his status and found some increase in his attributes. Advanced body talent is really broken. This way my training speed is 16 times faster than a normal person, so it's like I trained for 16 nights. Next, he saw 2 new skills. Chakra Manipulation LVL3, 32% EXP. The higher the level, the lesser chakra you waste when casting a jutsu, and the easier it is to manipulate your chakra. Meditation LVL2, 50% EXP. The higher it is, the faster you increase your chakra, greatly increase chakra regeneration rate while in meditation. It was harder to increase meditation because I couldn't clear my mind from the suddenness of what's happened to me, I thought while sighing. Seeing that it's already morning and the sun started rising, I decided to go cook some breakfast, so I walked to my simple kitchen and looked at the ingredients. I have some eggs and rice and some condiments. That's it. Hot again. I let another sigh because of the miserable life this kid had, but all this will change very soon, I thought with a cold look. Looking at what I have, I felt my cooking talent kicking in and I started cooking as if by instinct, cooking the rice with some condiments and frying the eggs, and even though it was simple, the taste was still so good. Any talent can be useful, I thought before wolfing down my food since I was hungry from all the training I did. Finishing with this, I washed the dishes I used for eating and cooking and went outside to take a walk around the clan compound and the village. Exiting my simple house, I saw that many of the houses around weren't of that good of quality and remembered that the Uchiha were exiled to the outskirts of the village by the elders of the village after Danzo kept blaming them for the Nine Tails attack. I saw many kids of age going to the ninja academy outside the village with youthful faces different from the old people with gloomy faces, knowing the true reality and situation of their clan and maybe feeling its impending doom. After a few laps, I finally found my first target to improve my situation. It was a 5-year-old kid with black eyes, handsome face, and slightly spiky hair. This was the son of the Uchiha clan head and the second protagonist of the story, Sasuke Uchiha. He seems to be heading to the forest. Let's follow him for now, and so I followed until he reached the forest. I just kept watching him and saw that he was training his shuriken jutsu on some targets in the trees with a very focused expression on his face. Ooh, this kid is pretty good at this young age. Even though he wasn't hitting the bullseye most of the time, at least his aim was right and he didn't miss the target. And so I approached him with as much stealth as I can, and his concentration helped in him not noticing me, and when I was right behind him I simply leaned my head to his ear and said boo. And he jumped as if he saw a ghost and turned to look at me with a slightly pale face before it turned to anger, and he said, "What do you think you are doing?" I looked at his cute face, trying to act mature after I saw him scared like that, and I said with a chuckle and a friendly face, "Hee, do you want to be a ninja?" He looked at me with a determined face and said, "Yes, I am going to be a great ninja like my big brother." I saw in his eyes the deep admiration he had for Itachi ha. "Great ninja ha," I said before my friendly face turned into a serious and dignified one, and I could see that he felt my aura suffocating him. "Why does it feel like I am looking at father?" Sasuke thought while feeling a little intimidated before he heard me say. "And what great ninja leaves his back open to his potential enemies?" He looked at me with surprise and retorted childishly, "We are in the Uchiha clan, nobody can harm me here." And I simply thought, "Oh, how deeply wrong you are," before I said to him, "Yes, this place is safe, but that doesn't mean you don't need to train your awareness of your surroundings to the point it becomes an instinct." Sasuke made an annoyed face, because he could tell I was right, but his childish personality didn't allow him to admit it, so he snorted and said to me instead, "Humph, mastering shuriken jutsu is way more useful than your stupid awareness." This time I just coldly looked at him and asked him, "Do you think you are smart?" He puffed his cheeks and said with pride, "Of course I am smartest other than my brother." I smiled and said, "So answer me this," and without giving him the choice to answer or not, I continued, "If you were thrown in a forest right now with enemies stronger than you everywhere, what you think is more useful, shuriken jutsu or awareness of where the danger is to avoid it?" He looked at me with the most annoyed look so far, and with some frustration he said, "Okay, awareness is more important now, leave, I need to train before brother comes back." I just smiled and said, "Sure, go ahead," but I didn't leave and kept watching him closely, not letting him concentrate and making his accuracy worse than before, which made him annoyed. "What are you still doing here?" Sasuke said. "I have nothing to do, so I am just passing my time," I simply shrugged and said, and what I did next made him even more annoyed as I grabbed some of his shurikens and started practicing on a tree like him. "Hey, those are mine, go train somewhere else," and I said with a creepy smile, "I either train or I keep watching, what do you like more?" Looking at my creepy smile made him think that he will never be able to concentrate on his training. He quickly turned around and continued his training, making the choice very clear. I just smiled at this little kid and concentrated on my throwing. Something I noticed about this system is I have two options to use my skills. First, through the system, meaning the effect of the skill depends on its level, and this will only cause a slight increase in experience. Meanwhile, the second method is to personally use the skill without assistance. This gives huge experience depending on how good the improvements I added to the skill. For example, in this case, While I am learning Shuriken Jutsu, which is throwing all kinds of weapons, I quickly got the skill, but instead of using it I kept adjusting my form and seeing which one is best, and thanks to the system my mastery is ingrained in me, so I quickly forgot about time while training and I gained an understanding. Shuriken Jutsu is the combination of many things. First, the characteristics of the weapon you use, mainly weight and shape, the form used to control the angle, and the power behind the throw, and lastly, the environment, mainly the effect of the wind. And so first I got used to the shurikens and kunais, then kept adjusting myself to my two other requirements, and before long 2 hours passed and I noticed that any shot I make was a bullseye, so I stopped for now because I noticed Sasuke looking at me like some kind of monster, and I simply said with my hand raised, "Yo." Chapter 3, First Day in Konoha 2. Sasuke looked at the kid in front of him with his jaw dropping, because even though he pretended to want to do nothing with him, he was still a kid without many friends other than his brother Itachi. Those in the clan didn't approach him out of respect and fear for his father, the clan head, not wanting their kids to misbehave with Sasuke and cause a bad relationship with him, and the rest of the clans in the village are still suspecting them for the Nine Tails attack and kept their distance from them as to not also be targeted by the elders. And so while Sasuke was training, he would glance at Bakorio from time to time, and seeing that he was better made him smug and continue his training with a smirk. But as times passed and Bakorio's accuracy increased, his face started crumbling little by little until 1 hour later he just forgot about his training and kept staring at Bakorio and his quick improvement in disbelief. "Yo!" A voice snapped Sasuke out of his daze, and he looked at the source of it before he quickly said, "How did you improve so quickly?" I looked at the kid in front of me. "Simple, because I am a genius," I said, while inwardly I was thinking something else when I checked my new skill. Throwing Art, LVL 10, 5% EXP, can hit unmoving targets with 100% accuracy. Still got a long way to go, huh? From simple moving targets to randomly moving targets to changing the direction of the projectiles while mid-air like Itachi. I guess I would need to reach at least level 40 of 50, which will take a long time the higher the level. Meanwhile, Sasuke didn't appreciate my answer and said, Fine, I don't care." "What at Sundara?" I thought. "By the way, what's your name?" I asked him. He looked at me from the corner of his eyes and said, "My name is Sasuke Uchiha." Looking at his childish behavior, I simply extended my hand for a handshake and said with a smile, "And I am Bakorio Uchiha, let's be friends." I saw his eyes gleaming a little bit, but he tried to hide it and shook my hand in the end, and I said, "Well, I am going to rest for a bit. You should keep practicing, since you watched me more than you practiced," I said with a chuckle. Sasuke got embarrassed, so he snorted and turned around to continue his training, this time with a smile on his face. "Sigh, good thing I know how to deal with kids," I thought before I sat under one of the trees and let its shadow embrace me. "Quests," I said in my head, and a panel with countless quests appeared in front of me and I could screen them depending on location, difficulty, and completion, and I directly selected completed and I found a few that I completed. Quest: Friend of the Protagonist 1, befriend one of the main characters in this world, reward 100 points plus additional reward, depending on the befriended character, completed. Quest: Throwing Art 1, reach level 10 with your throwing art, reward, 30 points plus 1 random shuriken jutsu, completed. Quest: Bloodline Enhancer 1, raise one of your bloodlines to 10%, reward 50 points plus Bloodline Awakening Pill, completed. I quickly accepted all the rewards and now I got the notification. Asterisk: you received plus 180 points, Bloodline Awakening Pill, Slithering Throwing Jutsu, Indra's Chakra E asterisk. Let's see what each of them does, I thought. Bloodline Awakening Pill allows the user to awaken the main characteristics of his bloodline and enhance them. Slithering Throwing Jutsu, imbue the projectiles with wind chakra that allows the user to manipulate them in the air after throwing them. The higher the level, the better the effect. Indra's Chakra can only be used with an Uchiha bloodline of at least 70% purity, strengthen the effect of any jutsu, I powers, and lessen their side effect and greatly increase the user's spirit and chakra. Amazing, this way I can open my Sharingan quite early even with how weak my bloodline is, and so I just learned the Slithering Throwing Art and left the other two in the inventory for now until I'm back home. I felt a rush of information enter my head on how to manipulate my chakra to transform it into wind chakra and manipulate objects with it. Satisfied with my new skill, I turned my attention to Sasuke. Watching how he's training, I decided to pass the rest of the time by giving him advice from time to time, which he gladly accepted. 11:45 a.m. we heard some footsteps walking toward us until the figure of a beautiful woman in housewife clothing appeared in front of us. She had very fair skin, contrasting with her long ebony hair whose locks framed her face. Her eyes were black in color. She wore a dark purple blouse and a long crimson skirt. She was Makoto Uchiha, the mother of Sasuke. It's time for lunch, so she probably came to invite Sasuke back, and my guess was right because before long she said, "Era Sasuke, is this your friend?" She looked at me with a warm smile while Sasuke rushed to her and hugged her with a happy smile that quickly turned into a cute annoyed look and said, "Humph, no." What an ungrateful kid, I thought, but I didn't let my emotions show and I just smiled and said, "Hi, I am Bakorio Uchiha Sasuke and I just became friends. I didn't know he had such a beautiful mother." Makoto felt happy from my compliment and knowing her kid finally made a friend, so she decided to invite me for lunch with them, so she held Sasuke's hand and looked at me with a smile and said, "What a well-mannered kid, would you like to come to eat lunch with me and Sasuke?" And I happily responded with yes, contrary to Sasuke's annoyed face. Makoto was glad I accepted, so she held my hand with her other hand and said, "Let's go." Sasuke gave me a jealous face and I just laughed at him for it, and so as we are walking towards their house, Makoto suddenly said, "Oh, I was so excited I didn't ask if your parents would be okay with this." She had an embarrassed look because she forgets to consider if my parents are waiting for me or not. My smile faded away and I said with a sad look, "I don't have parents." Makoto felt bad now for what she said and she quickly knelt and hugged me while saying, "I am so sorry, I didn't know." Feeling the warmth from her hug, I thought, just how idiotic can you be, Itachi, to kill such a person? I sighed, but to her it seemed I am still sad, but I dispelled her worries and said, "I am fine, I am used to it." She only grew sadder and promised to take care of her kid's new friend while Sasuke didn't say anything and didn't show me that jealous look again. At least you know how to read the situation, I thought. Before long we arrived at a huge Japanese house surrounded by walls that has the Uchiha clan symbol on them, and I thought this really deserves to be the house of a clan leader and couldn't wait to experience some proper food. Chapter 4, First Day in Konoha 3. After entering the house, Makoto led me to the dining room while she said she was going to finish her preparations and bring the food. Sasuke volunteered to help her and I followed after him, but she refused us and said just wait here, and so we sat around the table and it quickly became awkward with Sasuke killing the mood with his silence, so I decided to break it. "Hey Sasuke, where's your brother you talked about?" I asked curiously, and he replied that his brother was busy doing missions and his father Fugaku was always busy managing the clan, so most of the time he's only around with his mother. And then he switched to talking about how great his brother is, and it felt like a dam was broken and I was hit by a tsunami of his admiration for his brother's sigh. Why did I open this Pandora box and provoke this fanboy? I regretfully thought. Thank God it didn't take long for Makoto didn't take long to come back and the table was quickly filled with dishes. She prepared a few dishes for each of us consisting of gyudon, which is basically a bowl of rice with beef on the top seasoned with different ingredients and spices. With that, there is also a bowl of miso soup and a small salad. I quickly thanked her for the food and started tasting everything since I was quite hungry from the training, and to my pleasant surprise everything was really tasty. "Vav Makoto-san, your food is really delicious." I faked the tone to appear childish, but the compliment was from the heart. Makoto smiled happily from the compliment and said, "You too should eat well to become a great ninja and protect the village. I just smiled at her and continued stuffing my face with the food while Sasuke responded with an excited look. "Of course, mother, I will become a great ninja and protect everyone." How innocent, as Jonin ninja and the wife of the clan head, she surely knows how bad the clan situation is and how wrong they are by the village, yet she still tries to not raise her kids with hate. Sigh. Unfortunately, those elders don't think the same and they only work for their benefits. With this kind of rigged chess game, you either don't play at all and leave the village, or you flip the board and go for an all-out war, bringing down with you as much as you could, yet they just chose the worst possible course of action, and that is they put their trust on their enemy, a very useless enemy with the name of Sarutobi Hiruzen. Sigh. I felt like I need to stop thinking, otherwise I will grow older quickly. It didn't take long before we finished our lunch and I decided to go for a walk around the village, and I asked Sasuke to accompany me, which he agreed, and so we headed out, but not before we heard Makoto say, "Bakorio-kun, come by whenever you want, okay?" And gave me a hug. "What a nice woman, you deserve to live more and I am going to make sure you will," I thought in my head while I said with a smile, "I will come by sometimes, thank you," and so we left while she waved at us from the door and told Sasuke not to be late for dinner. We started walking and we left the Uchiha compound, and I thought that I should visit as many places as I can to make a map and get familiar with the village, and the moment I had this thought I heard a notification ring in my head and a message appeared. "Would you like to create the map function? Cost 150 points Y/N?" Surprised at this new use of the system, I didn't hesitate and said yes, and suddenly on the top corner of my vision I can see a square map like those of a game, and I can zoom in and out, but most places are dark other than Uchiha compound and the path I am walking on right now. I noticed that whenever I move, the area in a diameter of 15 meters around will get cleared, so with this I won't need to get too close to some restricted areas to explore them, which is good. And so we enjoyed our walk, but to make it exciting for Sasuke, I challenged him to have a race throughout the village and see if he can keep up with me. Of course, this is for me to speed up my exploration and train my body at the same time. 2.5 hours later, two kids, one with straight dark hair seemed to have a victorious smile on his face, while the one with the spiked dark hair had a defeated and tired look, can be seen going back in the direction of the Uchiha compound. Before the first one stopped in front of a shop and bought some groceries. Afterward he entered a shop that sells training equipment and bought some weights, before lastly ending his shopping spree at a bakery, and bought 2 boxes of sweets, giving one of them to the second kid while saying, "Sasuke, take these to your mother and thank her for the earlier lunch." Sasuke didn't say anything and just nodded from the exhaustion, exchanged some small goodbye, and decided to train again tomorrow together before he started walking in the direction of his house, and I did the same. Now many people will ask, why won't I just go interact with Naruto and maybe complete another quest while at it? Unfortunately, it's not easy with my identity as an Uchiha and him being the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, having Umboob guarding him 24h. If I approach him, they will report it to the Hokage, and those rotten elders might make it a reason to pressure the Uchiha clan even more and frame them for trying to control the Kyuubi again, which will make the time of the Uchiha Revolution incident come earlier and catch me unprepared. After all, currently I could barely be considered a genin. This is the reason why someone like Makoto Uchiha, who was a good friend of Naruto's mother Kushina, couldn't adopt him or approach him to take care of him, which is unfortunate considering Naruto could have led a better life, but this just goes to show how heartless those village elders are, especially the Hokage, since he promised Naruto's parents to take care of him. So I need to be careful in my approach, and the best way is to make it knows that he was the one that approached me, and to do that I will need to plan a little bit for it, and I should raise my strength some more just in case. As for the money to buy the groceries, I just exchanged 1 point from the system for 10,000 Ryo. After I entered my simple house, I organized my groceries and started training my routine of body training, this time with weights, and meditating for the rest of the day until night fell and the moon rose. I dragged my exhausted body to make a quick dinner consisting of fried meat and vegetables with rice, which I quickly wolfed down, thanking the benefits of my cooking talent again, and went to sleep to let my body that was tired from training and my mind exhausted from all the acting to avoid raising suspicion rest from this long day, my first day in this new world. Chapter 5, New Business. For the next half a month I organized my time as follow: practicing taijutsu and shuriken jutsu with Sasuke in the morning, getting closer to his family at noon or familiar with the village, and in the afternoon it was intense physical training coupled with chakra control and meditation, and in the night I train using my Sharingan to get used to it. Yeah, I awakened it thanks to the Bloodline Awakening pill, and I directly got a 2-tomo Sharingan, but I am keeping it a secret for now. During this time I got a lot closer to Sasuke's family, especially Sasuke and Makoto. I met Fugaku and Itachi from time to time, the latter more than the former because Itachi likes to enjoy his free time with Sasuke, and I earned their appreciation for my fighting talent since I basically toy around with Sasuke in our sparring session. I also asked Itachi for some advice, and I have to admit, as much as I hate his way of thinking, his talents as a ninja are undeniable, and even though I was holding back during our spars, I knew even my full power was far from beating him, since he's probably already at special Jonin level and very close to being Jonin. Waking up to a new day, I decided to check my progress for this half a month. Status. Name, Bakorio Uchiha. Health, 310, plus 3.5 per minute. Chakra, 476, plus 6 per minute. Stamina, 800, plus 8/min. Attributes, Strength 31/Agility 30/Physique 20/Vitality 35/Stamina 80/Spirit 60. Skills, Throwing Art level 32, Slithering Throwing Art level 15, Close Combat Fighting level 56, Water Bullet Jutsu level 14, Cooking level 15, Chakra Control level 12, Meditation level 10. Abilities, Save and Load, Map. Bloodline, Uchiha 20%. Talents, Chakra Medium. Body Advanced, Cooking Advanced, **. Rising my vitality and physique is really difficult. No matter what I did I couldn't find a way to train them, but at least they still rise automatically when I train my other attributes. Never mind, I can raise them through points from the system, but for that, I need to start making money, and there is nothing better than taking advantage of my cooking talent and knowledge about recipes from my past life, I thought. Another thing I was satisfied with was my close combat fighting level, which was this high because of the martial arts experience I have from my past life. As for what concerns money-making, I already made preparations to make a pastry shop, and I got a lot of help from the clan head personally after he tasted how good my cakes are. As for the money, I simply said that it was something my parents left me, and after putting some sad faces and he got some blares from Makoto, he didn't ask any further. It seemed like Fugaku really goes far and beyond for his clan members that show potential, since he helped me get a shop with the great location I asked for, being near the Ninja Academy, a place with great daily traffic that mainly consists of students and their parents. Through all this, I pretended to be very grateful, but I knew with my long experiences in life there's a truth that doesn't change no matter the world you are in, and that is there's no lunch that comes for free, not mentioned from a struggling clan like the Uchiha. So I quickly guessed that this was a test to see if I was the same as his son Itachi or not, a person that would choose this rotten village over his clan, and I won't disappoint him since I need to gain his trust to help me for what I am planning. Today I wasn't going to train with Sasuke like usual. Instead, I went to check the shop and I found it was ready according to what I asked for, from the decor to the equipment I need. I also found civilian Uchiha I asked Fugaku for, since I need a worker to deal with the customers. I call him a worker and not a clerk because I am 100% sure he double works as a spy for Fugaku and will relay everything to him. That's why he's a worker. But I don't mind, since between having a Fugaku spy or a Danzo spy, the better choice is obvious. I decided to make my first business a pastry shop because I just need to quickly make whatever I am going to sell, cakes, tartlets, muffins, cupcakes, etc. And leave the rest for the worker to do the rest, so I don't affect my training time a lot, and I am pretty sure that then return from this business will be huge. And so I added work very early in the morning to my daily routine and did the rest as usual, and I dealt with Fugaku's trust issues by simply calculating the taxes the village demands and paying the Uchiha clan something a little higher than it. But of course when Fugaku asked, I simply gave him an innocent smile and said I am just helping the clan, as it helped me, while inside I was thinking, hey, just wait. If I don't milk you dry, my name won't be Bakorio. As for Fugaku, he didn't suspect much, since after all I am just a 5-year-old kid. Meanwhile, I visit to see how the shop was doing randomly from time to time between my training sessions. As more parents with their kids comes and goes from my shop, I started noticing a young kid with short blonde hair and weird cat whiskers on his cheeks. His figure seemed lonely every time he saw the happiness in the face of the other kids with their parents with ocean blue eyes while enjoying my pastries, while he can only smell it from far away with no money to pay for such luxuries. Naruto POV. Why don't I have parents to buy me sweets? Am I really a monster like everyone says? Don't I deserve to be happy like everyone else? I thought, with a heavy heart filled with sadness and loneliness that only increased from the disgusted stares people gave him. He arrived once again in front of that heavenly smell he was enchanted by for the past few days and couldn't help but swallow while looking at the pastry shop in front of him. Not long after, some kids felt sad for him, but their parents quickly pulled them away while saying, "No, stay away from him, he's a monster. Yeah, that kid is the calamity of our village, just why don't they kill him or get rid of him?" During this usual talk I felt deeply hurt, and then I saw a dark-haired kid approaching the shop and the people started greeting him while also saying, "Hey, good evening Bakorio, look, that monster is looking at your shop again, you should throw him away before he ruins your business," and many others followed saying similar things, and the kid called Bakorio turned and looked at him calmly. What a lucky kid to have a shop this young, but I am causing him a lot of trouble, so I better not come here again, I sadly thought before deciding to return home. But the moment I turned around I felt a hand on my shoulder and a voice said, "Do you want to eat some sweets?" I turned around and what greeted me was something different from the cold and disgusted look that I was expecting, for the kid simply had a warm smile, a smile that made the heaviness in my heart slightly lighter, and so with a hesitant look I nodded my head and he simply led me inside his shop and gave me whatever I wanted to eat. I wished for this happiness to never end, but unfortunately, I couldn't stay for too long after I ate, so I tried to pay him with I have, but he didn't accept, and I thanked him from the bottom of my heart for his kindness and turned around to leave feeling sad I can't experience this again. But my sadness was short-lived, because very soon the warm voice said to me, "Come back tomorrow," and with it, I left home with tears in my eyes, for the first time in my life, tears of happiness.